I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a couple shameless plugs. First and foremost, make sure you subscribe to this channel, Rich Tomorrow. I upload content on a pretty regular basis and stream on a fairly regular basis as well. Also, make sure you subscribe to my other channel called Tech25 ASMR. I just uploaded a new video talking about holiday tech I got throughout the years. There's some really interesting stories in there. I'll have a link to subscribing to this channel and to my ASMR channel below in the description and top pin comment. So as we know, Microsoft hasn't been having a great year. Between the price hikes of the Xbox consoles, they even raised the price of their dev kits. On top of that too, they had the price hike to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which made a lot of people stop supporting Game Pass. So Microsoft essentially, when it comes to at least conventional hardware, is raising the white flag. And honestly, they've done a lot of damage to the Xbox brand. So it'll be interesting to see where they take it in the future, if they could even take it anywhere. But nonetheless, how are things doing? Obviously, they had some banger Xbox sales on Black Friday, right? And even though the console is unofficially on its way out, I'm sure they had some sales. They did okay, right? No. Not at all. They were outsold by some kid's toy that's a couple years old. The Xbox Series consoles couldn't outsell an Android-based, similar to Kinect, which the irony of that does not go over my head. They couldn't outsell some kid's toy that's been on the market for a couple years. This comes from Video Games Chronicle. Let's check it out and see what they have to say. Xbox hardware was outsold by a little-known Kinect-style console during Black Friday week in the US. That's according to Circana data shared on social media, which suggests that the family console Nex Playground took 14% of the market for the week ending November 29th. This is what Circana's Matt Piscatella had to say about sales of consoles during Black Friday. In the US, PlayStation 5 accounted for 47% of total Black Friday week hardware unit sales, leading the market. Nintendo Switch 2 ranked second, 24%, with the Nex Playground third with 14%. Now in the UK, PlayStation 5 also dominated Black Friday week hardware sales, accounting for 47%, which was likely driven by discounts. Nintendo Switch 2 ranked second with 24%, meaning Xbox took less than 14% in the UK. So the Xbox brand is hurting worldwide. Now, what is the Nex Playground, the console that outsold the Xbox in the States during Black Friday? Well, let's take a look. It's a kid's toy that plays Kinect-Like games. Here it is.
Meet Nex Playground, the entertainment system that gets you moving.
I find it amazing that the Xbox in 2025 was outsold by a kid's toy, which essentially is doing the same thing that Kinect did. So, no pun intended, they beat Microsoft at their own game and outsold them. That this Nex Playground console outsold them with a concept that Microsoft was pushing with the Kinect starting around 2010. Man, it is some dark times for Xbox right now, and it unfortunately I think is going to stay that way.
You want to create a device.
This is literally
that
the
gets people
demos we
moving.
used to see. This is literally like, hey, you don't need to have any kind of controllers in your hands. Remember, that was the whole big thing, and here they are. This other product is doing it again in 2025 and outselling Xbox.
Get them to do it together. So that's what we did.
Are you ready?
It's an all-new way to play. No extra sensors, headsets, or clunky wearables. Just play like you were born to play.
Same selling points. You don't need to have anything on. Same kinds of games.
This freedom
As Kinect.
opens up a whole new world of possibility that you just can't capture with traditional games.
And the same talking points you can't do with traditional games that you could do with Kinect. All right.
Playground uses its wide-angle camera to detect the players and their body movement. all
Oh God, and they're even flexing the cameras. Remember they used to flex like the camera and sensor tech? Remember there was like a big deal, the irony now thinking in the surveillance state we're living in now. Remember they were thinking with the Xbox One, even beforehand with the original Kinect with the 360, that they were going to use that to pry into our living rooms. Remember all that? And this cheap Android device in 2025 is using the same talking points. And it's outselling the Xbox. I can't get over it.
the games are played using simple and intuitive gestures. So yeah, it's that easy.
We knew that when we were creating this product, we want something that allows people to move freely and be creative with their body. We wanted to work with somebody.
I mean, all the hand gestures, all the stuff that Microsoft used to flex with the Kinect. And now someone else is doing. They gave up on Kinect too. Keep that in mind, which thankfully they did. But remember, there was a time Microsoft was so in on Kinect that the original Xbox One came with one. And just like everything else Microsoft touches, that turned into crap, and everyone agreed that the Xbox One should not have included the Kinect, and it was a disastrous idea. And I think them forcing Kinect down people's throats is what really essentially killed them in the 8th generation, and Microsoft has not been able to turn themselves around since. But to see a product now like putting the final nail in the coffin, doing the same thing the Kinect did, is wild.
Who has vast experience in designing hardware for families, and Level was a perfect match.
Nex Playground is great because it has a lot of vibrancy to it, but it's still small in stature, so it doesn't stick out too much, but it still demands some attention.
Playground is also super easy to set up. Just plug it into your TV and start playing.
Yeah, because it's an Android. It probably has some kind of mid-range Snapdragon CPU inside of there. And yeah, it's a smartphone with a camera attached to it. Well, smartphones do have cameras attached, but you get my point.
Part of what we needed to design for is ensuring that our customers felt in full control of their privacy.
Playground doesn't capture or store any videos internally or to the cloud, and also comes with a detachable privacy cover, as well.
I'm sorry, press X to doubt. They could tell you whatever they want to, but we live in an interconnected world where, unfortunately, our data is being shared by everything that we own, which let's not go into that now.
As an LED light to indicate when the camera is on.
We produce our own games, but we are also working with developers all over the world to create incredible experiences. So we are constantly adding new games to our library.
Whether it's family game night.
Can we just, also throw some shade at the Intellivision Amico and Tommy Tellurico? This was kind of the same stuff they were pushing too. But Tommy wanted you to have that ridiculous controller with his completely underpowered console in your hand. They're pushing the same stuff. Family games, fun games, something you could do with everybody. You don't even need a controller. What was the Amico pushing? So, how's that backgammon career going, Tommy? Hope it's all going well.
A rainy weekend, or a get-together with friends. Playground has something for, well, everyone.
Woo! Do you believe it? Yes, the jumper is wet.
There is a certain joy to movement that a lot of us have forgotten, and that is what we want to reconnect people with.
Kids games, that's the thing.
It really feels like an arcade.
A controller-free experience.
Discover a new world of play.
Are you ready?
It's just amazing to me to think that about 24 years ago, the Xbox came out in mid-November 2001. How much hype there was around the Xbox brand and Halo Combat Evolve, which helped Xbox rise to the relevancy that it had. That was the killer app for the original Xbox, and how Microsoft brought in Xbox Live, and how they were years upon years ahead of Sony and especially Nintendo with their online multiplayer, and how you had communication. Then when you went to the Xbox 360, how they push that even further, and they were untouchable in terms of what they were giving you with the online experience and the online multiplayer experience, and even with the Red Ring of Death, with how great of an experience you had if you were playing Call of Duty with friends or Halo 3 with friends, that people still turned a blind eye to it, because especially during the 7th gen, even compared to PC earlier on, later on it was different when Windows 7 came out, it was the place to go to for not only multiplayer gaming, but to get good ports of single player games. And now here we are in 2025, where Microsoft has essentially given up on the current gen series consoles, and they're being outsold by a Android kids toy with a camera that you hook up to your TV that acts like a Kinect, which is amazing to think of. It's like, talk about poetic justice, huh? Microsoft, what the hell did you do? Xbox didn't have to end this way. I know it's still a thing, but it's never going to be looked at the same. And it's sad it had to go out like this. This is Rich Tomorrow, signing out. Have a good one.